Nicholas Bernstein, a little bit of a commemorative to him. He was a Russian neurophysicist. Nobody knew about him up until about 1968, and that was because the Russians wouldn't tell us anything about what he was doing. It was the Cold War at its finest. And he did some amazing things. Back in the late 20s and 1930s, he was doing things that we're doing today with equipment that you shouldn't be able to do it with. One of what I consider the most important tenets, if you will, or not, it's not a discovery, but one of the things that he determined or his postulated was what's called the degrees of freedom problem. We have a plethora, we have, like the arm itself, basically has 7 degrees of freedom. Degrees of freedom meaning in which directions things can move in. There's 3 at the shoulder, there's 1 at the elbow, there's 2 at the wrist, there's 1 at the elbow, and there's 1 in this. So there's 7 degrees of freedom. If I'm doing a reaching movement, I can reach like this, I can reach like this, I can reach in 7, those 7 ways. It's a combinational problem. So there's many different ways that I can use those 7 degrees of freedoms to do something. The problem is, what's the best one? And how does the brain or our nervous system pick out the best one, manage the best one? Now we're only talking about joints here. What if we go to, it's not only joints, it's motor units, it's electrical impulses. So there's a hierarchy. If we're just talking about joints of the arm, we're talking about 7. If we're then talking about muscles that are there, there's 26. If we're talking about, what do they call it? Alpha, gamma, yeah, we're talking about 2. And then if we go up above that, basically we get in almost to an infinite situation. The brain has to take all that into account to affect motor, a movement. And that's where the Schmidt scheme of motor control starts to break down. It's an informational overload.